Hey guys, it's Miss Delani with your math lesson for this week, which is 3-digit subtraction, regrouping in the tens, and regrouping in the hundreds. But before we get started, let's try out a riddle. I am an odd number. Take away a letter and I become even. What number am I? I will give you 10 seconds to try to guess the answer. Okay, I am an odd number. Take away a letter and I become even. What number am I? 7. If I take out a letter, it becomes even. You get it? Okay, now let's begin with our class. Before we begin with the class, we are going to go over the parts of a subtraction. A subtraction has 3 important parts: minuend, subtrahend, and difference. You can see them if you have your subtraction horizontal or vertical. Now to begin our class, we will go over 2-digit subtraction with a word problem. There are 25 kids on the playground, but 17 went to play on the soccer field. How many kids were left on the playground? Here, the first thing we do is we line up our tens and our ones. Now that we have them lined up, we ask ourselves, is there enough ones to take away 7? Remember, we begin always in the ones. If our answer is no, then we have to borrow. We borrow from the next place value to the left, which is the tens. We borrow 1 and we regroup 10. Now we have enough ones to take away 7. How much is 15 minus 7? For this, remember, we count from 7 to 15 and see how much we get. Let's count. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. How much did we count? 8. We write our answer in the ones. Now we have to subtract the tens. How much is 1 minus 1? 0. There you have it. Remember, when we need to borrow, we always borrow 1 and regroup 10. We borrow 1 from the next place value to the left. Now let's begin with our class. 3-digit subtraction, regrouping in the tens. We're going to go over the model and draw that is on page 310. As you see here, the example says that we have 354 minus 137. The first thing we do is line up our hundreds, tens, and ones. We always begin in the ones place. And you ask yourself, are there enough ones to subtract 7? If you only have 4, the answer is no. So we have to regroup 110 as 10 ones. So we borrow 1 from the tens, that will be 4, and we regroup 10 in the ones. That makes it 14. Now we have 14 minus 7. How much is that? Let's subtract. Remember, we count from 7 until 14. And we say 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. How much is that? 7. We write our 7 in the ones. Now, we have to work in the tens. Are there enough tens to subtract? Yes. 4 minus 3. How much is 4 minus 3? 1. Correct. Now, we subtract the hundreds. 3 minus 1. Correct. 2. Our answer is 217. Let's do another example. Here we have 431 minus 326. Let's begin in the ones. Can we take away 6 from 1? No. We have to borrow. We borrow 1 from the tens. That leaves us with 2. And we regroup 10 in the ones. That leaves us with 11. Now we have 11 minus 6. We count from 6 until 11. And we say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 5. Correct. Now we subtract in the tens. How much is 2 minus 2? 0. Now we subtract in the hundreds. How much is 4 minus 3? 1. There you have it. Now let's do an example where we have to regroup in the hundreds. Here we have 428 minus 153. Remember, we line up the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. Now, let's begin to subtract in the ones. How much is 8 minus 3? 5. Now, we start to subtract in the tens. And we ask ourselves, is there enough? No. So we have to borrow. And we borrow from the hundreds. Borrow 1 and regroup 10. Now we have enough to subtract. And we say 12 minus 5. To subtract 12 minus 5, we count from 5 until 12. And we say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How much is that? 7. Now, we subtract the hundreds. 3 minus 1 is 2. And that gives us 275. Now we will do exercise number 2 from page 314. Let's subtract in the ones. How much is 4 minus 3? 1. Now, can we subtract 1 minus 6? No. We need to borrow. We borrow 1 from the hundreds. That leaves us with 7. And we regroup 10 in the tens. That gives us 11. Now we have 11 minus 6. Let's count from 6 till 11. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That gives us 5. Now we subtract in the hundreds. 7 minus 2. We count from 2 till 7. And we say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That gives us 5 also. That's 551. Now for some practice, solve the 4 exercises on page 310 and 314. Hope you like the class. Goodbye.